Okay, so today I'm going to talk about patents, trademarks, and copyrights. Now, these are all forms of intellectual property, and I'm not a specialist in these. I just want to provide some basic education. So if you really want to get into detail on these topics, I'd recommend doing some research and then reaching out to an expert in the field, which would be, typically an intellectual property lawyer. But again, I just wanted to briefly introduce these topics because I think they are important for businesses and business owners. So getting a patent, getting a trademark, getting a copyright, those are all forms of legal protection for intellectual property. And now the first one, a patent, that's more specifically for inventions, processes, ideas, and things like that. So if you have some new invention or some improvement on a design or something, and you want protection so that no one else can use it, that's where you might want a patent. If you ever watch shows like Dragon's Den or Shark Tank, when there's inventors on there, they will talk about patents. Now, for most businesses, patents aren't important whatsoever. For other businesses, they're crucial because if their business is dependent on the use of some invention or some process, if anyone else can just take that and use it, then they have no real competitive advantage. So, in the event that you do have an invention or some type of process that you want protection for, that would be a good time to look into getting a patent for that invention, that process, or that function that you've come up with. And now the second one would be a copyright. So a copyright is similar in that it's legal protection, but a copyright is not to protect inventions or processes or functions. It's more to protect creative works. So you wrote a book, you made a film, you wrote a poem, you wrote a song, things like that. So it's protecting like artwork in different forms, whether that's writing or painting or whatever. So I'm sure you've heard of copyright before. Sometimes that can be an issue, like if you're uploading YouTube videos and maybe using some clips or some songs that have copyright protection, you might get like a copyright strike where that video is taken down because you're using something that has copyright protection. Or maybe you'll hear in the news of some type of copyright infringement between musical artists where, one artist stole some music from another one to kind of record as a sample on one of their songs. So those can be issues where, you're using someone else's protected creative works that have a copyright on that. That's where that legal protection comes in. And now lastly, trademarks. Trademarks are, again, similar to patents and copyrights, but they're for kind of a different category of design or intellectual property. So trademarks are more for things like business names, names of products or could be services, slogans, maybe logos for a business. So think, for example, a big company like Nike, that term, that word Nike, I'm sure has a trademark on it. And their slogan, "Just Do It," I'm sure has a trademark on it. And I'm sure their logo as well has a trademark on it. So they want protection, legal protection for those things because they don't want other companies stealing their branding, maybe using their logo and their slogan and trying to kind of replicate or duplicate what they've done and, maybe confuse customers in a way. So again, all of these are really important in some contexts. I think they're good to know, they're good to be aware of, but again, most businesses don't really have to worry too much about them. It would just be certain cases where you want to be a big international business or you have some type of invention or you're a musical artist that's coming up with your own creative works or a writer or something like that. That could be really important, but very few businesses that I work with actually need any of these other than maybe inventors. So again, something to be aware of. And if you do need help with this, if you feel like you have a business that needs a trademark, a copyright, or a patent, I would recommend just doing some basic research to learn more about those. And then if you feel like you need to file for one of these things, reach out to a specialist who helps to file patents or trademarks or copyrights. So hopefully this video was helpful. If you got any value from it, please click like. And feel free to check out my YouTube channel where I have currently over 160 videos that cover business management and business startup topics. And if you have a question on one of those topics that I haven't covered yet, feel free to just leave that in the comment section below and I will either answer it there or make a new video on it.